And the Board of Regents for the Texas A&M University voting this morning to reopen campuses across the system for the upcoming fall semester. Nora Pettis tells us how things will change for students returning to classes.
And in the fall semester, you're going to see significantly more online courses than you would have a year ago, simply because of the space capacity issues to facilitate social distancing requirements.
Dr. James Hallmark, Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, says a reopening of A&M campuses across the state this fall will require that all aspects of student life be examined and evaluated, both in and out of the classroom.
So each individual space has been assessed to determine how many we can put in there based on social distancing, based on the ventilation system in that particular space.
Common areas such as libraries and study rooms will be redesigned and reimagined so students can gather but still allow for safe personal space. As for our local campuses at Kingsville and Corpus Christi, Hallmark says a mild coastal bend climate will be a huge benefit.
We tend to take advantage of more outside spaces throughout the fall semester, weather permitting, in order to assure that it's a lower risk environment.
The class day will be extended to allow more time for passing periods, and technology will play a huge role.
As we move forward, we're going to see more and more integration of technology into the classroom, whether it's face-to-face or delivered via remote environment. A faculty member described it to me a month or so ago as much more affirming to be in front of a class and interacting with these students. And so our faculty really are enthusiastic about coming back, but they want to do so safely.
Nora Pettis, 3 News.